right, welcome back, everyone. So as part of our CEO series, we'll be hosting an interview with the CEO and chairman and founder of Quantum Holdings, Eli Khoury, who will be interviewed by the CEO of Arabnet, Omar Christidis, and they'll be delving into the evolving landscape of media, production, and advertising. Please give them a warm welcome of applause.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
First of all, apologies for the heat of this room. We are turning the AC on, but it's a big hall, so it'll take a little bit of time. We feel with you, we're sweating as well. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Eli Khoury, the chairman and CEO of Quantum Group. Quantum Group is one of the major communication, media, production groups in Lebanon and regionally, significant reach and client base. And we wanted to talk to Eli about how the world of media, advertising, and communications is being changed by digital media. So, to kick off, Eli, tell us a little bit about Quantum. What are the different components of the business? What do you guys work in? As a brief introduction to the clients who are not familiar with it.
It's a group of 4 components mainly. The first one is an ad agency, which is MNC Saatchi. It's been there for about 20 years, I guess, more than 20 years. Another is Quantum Communications, which is a strategic consulting advisory. Third is Mercury Content, which produces long-term, heavy-duty content such as movies, large series, complex apps. And lastly, M is our new content and publishing platform. I think you've seen some or one of its products already, which was the Ziad Rahbani play taken to theaters. That's first of a series. So we are, in brief, we are in communications as in B2B, i.e. we service clients towards the market. And in content B2C, i.e. we go straight to the consumers ourselves. That's in a nutshell.
Great. How many people here saw the Ziad Rahbani film? Raise your hand if you saw it.
All right.
Yes, great. So here you are with the man behind the magic. And I hear more is coming soon.
The agonizing magic, yeah.
Yes. So let's talk about content.
Yep.
I always complain about content in the world today. I call it the BuzzFeedification of the content landscape, right? Everything is kind of snackable, short, low quality, fast, not that challenging. What type of content flourishes in this digital world? Can premium quality content survive in the era of pay-per-click?
Well, the term itself sort of vulgarizes it, if you want. If you go back to the origin of the word content, what's the content of your bucket? It could be milk, it could be anything. It could be gold, it could be bad stuff. So maybe the term has done it wrong, if you want. But to go back to what you're asking, whether, let me call it premium content versus social content.
Okay.
Like life before content or before digital, there was always mainstream media, and there was always yellow paper or not so mainstream media. With digital, it's going to continue the same. You will always have a Facebook or a YouTube channel, but you will always have also a Netflix and a BBC and an iTunes and all of these. So one does not cancel the other at all.
So, and you do see that high quality content, premium content can be monetized in the age of digital? Can high quality content be monetized online?
Well, of course, it's not whether it can or not. It's at the end of the day, what does the human being want? You sure want to watch a good movie. You sure want to watch a good series. We all hear about how people rave about all these expensive, well-produced. Have you watched this? Have you watched how many episodes? 50. People want. And for instance, Netflix is a good example of premium content gone haywire, if you wish. In the old days, you had maybe 2-3 programs to talk about among 20 channels on TV broadcast. Today, you can talk easily about 20 topics right now. So the demand is there. People's brain don't have limits. People's appetite for entertainment and information also doesn't have a limit to a certain extent. And as long as somebody wants to see something good, there'll always be a premium content.
So, but does that mean that there's no space in between? We're going to have either high quality, premium, heavily produced content, or kind of this low quality web, made for web content?
Well, frankly, that's what I like about the situation. The situation is you shouldn't play, or you can't play in the middle anymore. You can't be half professional, half, I'm not even saying run of the mill, but horrible, if anything. Today, you either gonna do it well, real well, to succeed, or don't bring people's expectations high and just work with the cute, smart, and something that works and that people love. So the in-between, between vulgarity, between simplicity, or not simplicity, simplicity is great. Simple as in dumb, if anything. All this and bad quality, in my opinion, are at their end, or if they're gonna exist, they're not gonna be successful at all.
So Lebanon has a big production industry, and it's been producing content for Lebanon and the region for a long time. But we haven't really seen tremendously successful online video channels from the Middle East, from Lebanon, right? Yes, we have some channels that are multimedia channels. They have a website, they have a video arm, but runaway success stories, the likes of Kharabish in Jordan, the likes of U-Turn in Saudi Arabia, where each episode is getting 1 or 2 million views. We haven't seen that from a Lebanese content creator. Can Lebanese content with our small market attract viewers that are regional?
There are two angles to your question. You're probably referring to, first you're referring to Lebanon as being a major production hub. It used to be, it isn't anymore. Or it is now with, يعني بالحليش, with a push. That's one. And you're referring to Kharabish and similar products, which if I were to label them, I would label them social products as opposed to mainstream products. Well, the problem is not only in social products in the country, it's also in mainstream products. We have two problems. First, and I'm gonna start here with the conceptual problem, which I even heard investors, of course, I start businesses, so I usually invite investors to come in and participate in the business I start. Some of the investors, so banally, if you want, when you tell them I'm producing Lebanese content, their first reaction is, oh, that won't sell. We want something for the Middle East. As if they know what a content in the Middle East or not is. Content has to be local for it to be successful. When you watch an Egyptian content or a Saudi content or a Lebanese content, if it's good, you're gonna watch it. There isn't gray content. You don't watch Friends because you don't know where they come from. You don't watch Big Bang Theory because you don't know where they come from. You could locate them, you know where they are, who they are, what social fabric they're made of. So we suffer from ill and lack of understanding of what content is. From an investor's point of view, or from a, if you want, a professional point of view, content has to be authentic, has to be local. So between losing it, i.e. trying to do local content, or trying to go gray content, as they call it, gray doesn't work, it will never work, and has no future. So yes, this is one major problem in how you approach content development. That's one. Second, unfortunately, we suffer from, before I go to the second point, add to that our investment mechanism, we lack investment in content. When we want to produce content in comparison to a country like Egypt, or to wealthy markets such as the Gulf, to compete on that front, we need investment. We can't count on a little producer or a little artist trying to get 100,000 here, 50,000 there, or even a $10,000 there to produce something and compete on a large scale. So yes, content in Lebanon is underinvested, heavily underinvested. I wonder where are the bankers, where are the investment companies into that? And uneducated investment will not help as well. That's on one angle. On the other angle is, artistically speaking, we do suffer from lack of scripts.
Lack of scripts.
Yes, writing in Lebanon has degenerated greatly. I personally attribute it to a single factor. People tend to want to reach high fast, so there is no attention to details. People want to finish and go somewhere. In my opinion, no one writes in groups in this country, and if they do, maybe it's very primitive, not educated. Not educated meaning not learned. And if they do on their own, it's the first or the second, or let me say the 10th draft that goes to production. I would say for you to succeed in doing something, it's maybe the 1000th draft that goes to production. We do not sit and rewrite and re-examine every word we do. So you have very lightness in scripts. We have a lot of good photographers, a lot of good actors, a lot of good everything. However, the material itself doesn't lend itself to success yet.
So, but even in this landscape, the power is shifting, right? If you have the talent that you need to put on a show, you've got the producers, the content owners who are investing their money and who own the rights of it, and then there are distribution channels, which they're using to push their work to the end consumer. How do you see this digital playing a role in shifting the balance of power between these components?
Well, it's easy to, if you want, theorize and go into the mathematics or the mechanism of things, but I would always tend to drive it back to the origin. The origin is content. It's that word, that picture. If it's a good word, if it's a good picture, it's gonna do whatever it's gonna do. Publisher or broadcaster is gonna buy it at a decent price, hopefully. At least it'll be a better price than the next one in line. A good content is gonna find somebody to take it.
Well, sure, definitely good content, that's where the power is today. Historically, the power used to be with distribution, right? I'm a channel, I have the power, I have the audience, I have the reach.
No, even in the old days, the term content is king came before, way before digital. Actually, it was coined by, I forgot his name, the German producer of Baywatch. When he threw the concept content is king, he was saying, I don't care who's the CEO of ABC or I forgot the names of the channels. I'm the one who owns Baywatch. So these TV channels are in line and buying me at high price for my content. So really, from old days up until now, it is the owner of Baywatch, and I gave Baywatch as an example because it's very commercial, of course, but it's the owner of the content, the creator of the content that remains king up until today. As I said, the problem is the owner of the content today is under-supported, under-invested. Technology there is, money there isn't, talent there is, writers there isn't. So there are missing components for successful content in this country, chief among which is the actual environment itself. We count to 10 before we drag people from abroad over here, thinking first of the zbele, then of issues in the country. So creating good content is a combination of many givens, script, economy, environment, you name it.
Great, let's shift gears a little bit. And let's look instead at the communication side of things, the agency, right? We've talked a lot about producing content. How about agencies? There's a lot of discussion that, and maybe I'll like push on this, that the creative agency will not exist in the future. Let's do like a kind of a myth buster. Creative agencies, we don't need them anymore. The publisher can create the native advertising, the publisher can create the creative for us, or maybe we outsource it to freelancers because we need lots more content. Or maybe we have algorithms that create the ads without needing a creative. What do you think of the agency of the future? Will it exist, the creative agency, or what will it look like?
It might not look like the way it is today, but it'll always be there. This is like saying, for instance, a banker can dance, or a doctor can sing. Anybody can produce. Anybody can go down to the basement and put a camera on, a couple of lights, and say, I'm producing. That's not the issue, how good you're producing. So the talent is going to always be required. Now, how does an agency look in the future? I'm one of those who, through the following statement, if you wish, and it's easier said than done, frankly, but I keep saying, if you have a product, you cannot manage it today if you can't publish it. That means if you can't go online and tell me your story and tell it in an amazing way and be all over the place with your story, that means you can't sell it. Same for an agency. The agency of tomorrow is going to be sort of an ad agency publisher mix, if you will. Something fast, quality but fast, but as well something well thought of that is strategic, that is long-termish. And by the way, we need to remember that brand building, the way to build brands, and now I'm splitting myself into the comm guy again, brand building does not happen by throwing bits and pieces here and there. It is a long, agonizing, strategically thought of process. It takes a good time to build a brand, and it just doesn't happen with run-of-the-mill, let my cousin do it at $500 a pop.
So, but would I still need a creative agency to produce all the creative that I have?
You might decide to split the load of work. The agency, like ourselves, we sometimes refuse. You know, we have a lot of clients that are so socially active, and it's not like really active, it's about jittery active, like they want to be there every minute, and life isn't that way. People have the wrong perception about social networking. They think social network means you have to stay on it all day long and watch your likes. No, it's not that way. But sometimes we at the agency have to tell our clients, you know what, we will hire a couple of people, put them at your end, let them play this everyday game, let them address your hunger to be on social media every hour, but let us do the mainstream stuff, let us do the essential, if you wish. So yes, you're gonna do both. You're gonna do the mainstream, call it expensive, call it long-term, call it heavyweight. You're gonna keep on doing
kind of
this.
Creative consulting?
No, it's the creative. Remember, at the end of the day, true creatives, don't be fooled, are actually geeks. They just feel numbers. They don't understand. They don't understand them. I feel space, geometry, numbers, weights, without having to use a measurement. An artist, a good artist, is a meticulous by force, if you wish. So creatives are really geeks. They make a film, they edit it for 20 hours, they look at every single frame. That's very geeky. They have to plan every process so the product comes out perfect or semi-perfect. So they are already that kind of people. You add to them coders and they'll be just fine, or themselves. A lot of the new talents we recruit today are both coders and creatives.
But don't you think we can program creativity?
No, you can program the formula.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, but okay, let me give you an example.
I mean, if I'm going on a website and it knows that I'm looking for a trip to LA, it can serve me that ad. Yeah, but it can know that I like green versus blue. It can know that I like this versus that. And all of a sudden, not only is the ad programmatically created, but actually it's personalized to me. So why do I still need that designer? That's
a bit, it's a confusion of things. You're talking about audience targeting. That's not the creativity. This is audience understanding. It's usually the planner's side of things. The creatives is like you give them the diagnosis and they give you the recipe if you want. To answer the essence of your question, I don't know if there are people who do theater here. Everybody who's into theaters, we know that we still do the same thing the Greeks did thousands of years ago. We all know that there is an intro, there is a main body, there is a conclusion 1, conclusion 2, there is a peak, there is down. Even you could Google it now and you will find that any script has a certain formula to reach the emotional peaks. These givens, yes, you could algorithm these. You could embed them in your software. They tell you where you've gone wrong. This is one word too many. This is too long. This is too short. This has missed the following criteria. All these tools will speed and help you create. But yeah, give me the same rules of Greek theater and give it to any writer. He's not going to write something good, even if the rules are there. The rules are good to help. They facilitate. They speed up. But the idea, that spark, is still human, unfortunately.
Okay, good. Fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, I think it keeps a lot of people employed.
Let me tell you, I've been recently very much involved in or studying artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And it's still far. It's still far.
So, but if we talk about this, my sense from when I talk to agencies and clients is that clients are increasingly ROI minded, right?
Yeah.
They're looking for, how do I calculate exactly the return on my investment? In the world of creative advertising, how is that changing the way clients demand things from their agency? Or what are clients looking for? Or even how the agency will be compensated in the future?
Rightfully so. This, if you want, this debate or discussion is happening both in, I would say, Charlotte Street, Madison Avenue, and even in Charles Malik Avenue in Beirut. But the answer isn't there yet. But I can tell you what we're going towards. Unlike before, and this is what used to happen in the old days, suppose you're Pepsi Cola, for instance. You paid zillions of dollars for Michael Jackson to burn his hair in a commercial. You launched that commercial on Monday Night Football, and you're hoping that New York Times has not published an ad that says soda drinks are bad for your health. So you could not. You were controlling the conversation with the consumer, but you could not control the information the consumer receives. Today, you get to do that. Not only that, in the old days, you threw that very expensive commercial, and you had to wait a bit of time to see whether people recalled it, what sort of message they got out of it. You wonder whether research was accurate or not. There are many givens for you to decide. Today, you could do it on the fly.
But are people still going to pay $250,000 for a TVC?
It's not whether they want to pay $250,000 for a TVC, whether they want to pay the fees of the agency that creates that $250,000.
Great, the fees of the agency.
Exactly. What we're going towards with the digital age is by performance.
Okay.
Give you an example. In our company, we are trying to develop something that you house at your client, you house at your end.
Okay.
And the minute you launch that campaign, all the criteria and KPIs are there. So you monitor by the day, and you have already set your KPIs pre-hand if you want.
And this is an automated system?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because you could see the results, whether offline or online, you could see them on the fly nowadays. You hook up to offline, the data is there. You hook up to online, you're already hooked up there. If the analytics are right, the objectives are right, then your client needs to pay. So yes, there are talks about in the industry of advertising to charge by performance.
Okay.
In the future. It's still, everybody is still trying to find their way in the digital age. Ad agencies know that they're going to go that way anyhow. But it's not about that film if it's 250. That film may still be $1 million worth. But whether you've paid the people that did the film or not throughout the year a certain amount or otherwise. Maybe that $1 million film had made you $3 million in ROI, so you gotta get $3 million. That million didn't make 100 in ROI, then you don't get paid.
It's a lot of risk for the agency.
They're gonna threaten you. They're already threatening you. I'm gonna lower my pay to you, and if you say no, there is about 20 agencies outside the door waiting to do it for 10% of the price. So there is always somebody who's gonna grab that business for peanuts. But when you pay peanuts, you're gonna get monkeys anyhow. So.
When you pay peanuts, you get monkeys.
Yes.
Last question. How is the staff changing, the needs for staff, the type of competencies that you're hiring for, even the distribution of full-time staff versus freelance staff? Has that changed over time?
There is much more use of freelance nowadays because also the tricks that you use in production have varied a lot. You've got this kind of recording artist, that kind of recording artist, this kind of producer, that kind of digital, flash, not flash. There's zillions now, and to keep up with all these in your own staff might get expensive. So you outsource a lot. But the reality is about staffing is a very simple situation. It's people like me and my age and a little less need to go home and let the kids come in, bottom line. That's what we're doing, basically. We just need to let the new wave take charge. We're lucky that we had few, if you want, seniors who had their legs in both young and old, if you want. But yes, the tendency is let's bring these new whiz kids.
Great. My last question to you. What's in the future for Quantum? How do you see things for you as a business changing in the next 5 years? Where do you see that going?
Well, in the advertising industry, I think we might be among the very early first that introduce a different system of measuring impact and measuring and even proposing costs, along with fast and mainstream creativity combined together. In the advisory, life is becoming even more easier for us to analyze. The more you hire coders and analysts, the more you understand issues and you can solve them quicker. So I think that's going to flourish in terms of consulting.
What kind of consulting is that? That is coders are doing consulting?
No, they help you understand more.
Okay, got it.
We were debating the other day, there are many formula of how you analyze or you measure sentiments. There is a million way of looking at that. We were seeing if there is a new way of looking at it, and I think we found one. The other is publishing content. We're going to do the best we can to produce the best content possible so that we get the applause and the money that comes with it.
Excellent. Eli, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for your time and insights. Thank you.